Final game of 2023, and we have a final from Minneapolis. The Packers victorious 33-10 thanks to a career-high 4 touchdowns from Jordan Love, 3 passing, 1 rushing. He has 16 passing touchdowns over his last 7 games. And how about this Green Bay defense, which, you know, gets criticized, but shouts to Joe Barry. They gave up 211 yards to a combination of, Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins, because nothing was working for Minnesota. But things are working for the Packers. They win, and right now they are the 7th seed in the NFC. They win next week at home against the Bears, and they lock up the 7th seed in the NFC. All right, back here with 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. Let's welcome in CBS Sports NFL writer, draft expert Ryan Wilson. B-Mac, Jordan Love with a career-high 4 touchdowns. What have you seen from this young man throughout the season? And he is coming on strong here, end of the season.
I'm seeing a confident individual, guys. What we're seeing now with Jordan Love is a quarterback that's playing with a lot of confidence. He has belief in his pass catchers, and just the nucleus of the offense has been clicking from start to finish, especially in tonight's matchup on the road against a divisional foe. All the marbles in the middle of the table. He never wavered at all. He continued to run into a hot kitchen, and he delivered the goods. And this was what they need from Jordan Love, not just, you know, the rest of the season, but moving forward as the franchise guy. Because we've seen some highs and lows with Jordan Love throughout the course of 2023. But towards the latter part of this year, he's been playing some of his best football, and that says a lot. And being able to deliver big-time passes to pass catchers not named Christian Watson. So I love the relationship that he's starting to establish with a lot of young pass catchers. And I'll tell you this much as well. Jordan Love is a better Jordan Love when Aaron Jones is in the backfield behind him, and we saw that tonight.
That's for sure. And Ryan, look, we all criticized the Packers' selection of Jordan Love some 3 years ago. What are they doing? They have Aaron Rodgers. But maybe we should have just waited 3 years and said, well, this is the guy they were looking for.
No, that's right, Akeem. And we live in a world where quarterbacks don't sit. Aaron Rodgers did sit when he was drafted in 2005. Phillip Rivers sat when he was drafted in 2004. That feels like a different era almost 20 years ago. But Jordan Love was served properly by his head coach in that front office by having him sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Probably not the best situation for either quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is now in New York. And as B-Mac laid out, Jordan Love has grown into that role, and he's doing it with confidence. I remember talking to Jordan Love at the Senior Bowl, and he was there with Justin Herbert, who was the big show in town. He was in the same draft class as Tua Tagovailoa. Jordan Love was almost the afterthought, and right now he's playing like one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL, and as B-Mac noted, especially recently. And when you look at the advanced metrics, he's in the same conversation with Patrick Mahomes in terms of per-play efficiency. He is great against the blitz. He is great at pushing the ball down the field, 20-plus yards when he throws the ball, and Aaron Jones, as B-Mac noted, has been a huge help in the backfield. Now, something else to keep in mind. Remember when they extended, quotation marks, Jordan Love's deal 1 year and about $13.5 million? Guess who's going to get paid this offseason about $40 million per? Jordan Love, especially if they continue to get hot, play well in Week 18, and then find their way into the playoffs. Because I think they found their quarterback, and there's nothing harder to discover, if you will, than a quarterback, unless, of course, you're Hakeem and you find Joe Flacco. And I think that the Green Bay Packers have their guy. They're going to lock him up long-term, and he's going to make some big money this offseason.
Yeah, 30 passing touchdowns this season in his first full season as a starter. And you guys both mentioned Aaron Jones. And he has one more game.
Yeah.
And he's got another game that they need to win next week against the Bears. We'll get to that in a moment. But he's got Aaron Jones, a healthy Aaron Jones in the backfield. That's back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. And shouts to our own Eric Casillas, who told you to take the over on his rushing yards prop, set at 70. He flew over.
I think it was total yards.
That was never in doubt, B-Mac. Never in doubt.
Yeah, I think we tend to forget how good Aaron Jones is. Not just as a runner with the football, but also as a pass catcher as well. You go back to the Aaron Rodgers days, right? Aaron Jones behind Aaron Rodgers made that offense better. And now he was dealing with injuries throughout the course of this year, and I think it kind of took a toll on the entire offense in totality, and the same can be said for Jordan Love. But when you have a healthy Aaron Jones in the backfield, he's an elite-like running back. I mean, do-it-all running back, a three-down type guy. And then, of course, you can take Aaron Jones out and bring a bruiser in and A.J. Dillon. 120 yards. Guys, he averaged 6 yards per carry. And this was a Minnesota Vikings defense, especially at home. They tend to harass opposing offenses. They tend to make things difficult for opposing offenses. They had no answer for Jordan Love, and they had no answer for Aaron Jones.
Ryan, the Packers are in with a win next week at home against the Bears. Are the Packers in when all is said and done?
This is going to be a fantastic game, especially given the way that Justin Fields played in some pretty bad weather in Chicago today. I think the confidence with which we've seen Jordan Love play, and Matt LaFleur, whether he'll admit it or not, it feels like a guy who's had a weight lifted off his shoulder in this post-Aaron Rodgers world. And by the way, the draft that the last 2 years that the Packers have had, especially the skill position players with the tight ends and with the receivers, has been a huge boon for Jordan Love's progress as well. I think the Packers go in there. I think they win that game. And I think they're going to end up being one of those teams that BMAC likes to call not an in-the-way team. They're a team you probably don't want to face. They get red hot with the way they've ended this regular season, going into the postseason with a chance to make some upsets happen.
So he's got the Packers in, BMAC. And I know you like this Packers defense the way it's playing right now. Joe Barry's defense gave up only 211 total yards in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was against Jaren Hall.
Still a professional football team, but yes, I get it.
Justin Fields is not Jaren Hall and Nick Mullins.
No.
The Justin Fields that we're watching right now is a different player than the Justin Fields the Green Bay Packers played, I think it was, in week 1. So my biggest concern, guys, when you talk about the matchup, I love it as well, Ryan. I think it's going to be all the games next week. I mean, it's a lot at stake. This is another game with divisional foe going toe-to-toe. But which Green Bay Packer team will we see, right? Will we see the Green Bay Packer team that we watched tonight against Jaren Hall? Will we see the Green Bay Packer team that we watched last week against Bryce Young? Or will we see the Green Bay Packer team that we were scratching our head with when you saw them play against Tampa or the New York Giants?
True.
That's the issue.
It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
The two quarterbacks they faced off against the last 2 weeks won't be the same guy, won't have the same level of talent that they will face next week. And also, too, the Chicago Bears defense is a different defensive unit than what the Packers saw in week 1. The Chicago Bears defense, since acquiring Montez Sweat, they've been a dominant, stout unit, one of the best defenses in the National Football League, especially against rushing attacks. So me personally, if I had to make a pick right now, I think I have more faith and more trust in the Chicago Bears, especially knowing that the Packers knocked the Bears out of the playoffs by winning tonight. So when you talk about the revenge factor, misery loves company. What better way for the Bears to end their season than to do so with a win on the road, knocking out the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field? And remember, too, guys, remember what happened last year, the final game of the season. Yep. Detroit got knocked out of the playoffs the week before, but went to Lambeau and took care of business against the Green Bay Packers and knocked the Green Bay Packers out of the playoffs. It's the same scenario next week for the Chicago Bears and the same scenario for the Green Bay Packers as well. So if I had to give you guys a pick, Ryan, I feel more confident in the Chicago Bears. I'm not doing so because Joe Musso is a Chicago Bear fan. I'm doing so because I think the Bears are playing better football against better competition.
So if we've got the Bears fan in Joe and I'm the Browns fan, then you got the Browns winning the Super Bowl then, right? If you really like me as a friend.
No, I'm not doing that.
I don't know. I don't need your backing. I don't need your backing. You know, you can be a co-worker with me. You can be my pal. You can just root against.
You got to get through the first round first.
Keep rooting against them. I'm just kidding. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
You got to get through the first round.
Get through the first round, which will likely be.
If the Cleveland Browns somehow get to the AFC Championship game, I don't know how we're going to contain Hakeem.
I don't know, but we have a scenario here for the Packers. It's really easy. Win. And they're in.
They had the same scenario a year ago.
Ryan, Happy New Year to you. BMAC, appreciate you. The scenario is not as simple for the Vikings. Okay, look, this is the path to the playoffs after losing on Sunday. They need to beat the Lions in Week 18. They need the Packers to lose to the Bears, which BMAC says is going to happen. They need the Seahawks to lose at the Cardinals, and they need a loss from either the Bucs or the Saints. And the Vikings would be in to the playoff field. Unlikely, but hey, there's a chance. Coming up, back out to Minneapolis, we'll hear from Jordan Love and the Packers as they inch closer to a playoff spot. Next on CBS Sports HQ.